There are sequels, and then there are sequels. Movies that not only build on what came before, but elevate the entire franchise. In Aliens, this thing rewrites the playbook.
Newt! Newt, just stay still!
Imagine this. You take one of the most atmospheric horror films ever made, Alien, and somehow turn it into a high-octane, adrenaline-fueled war movie, and it still feels like the same universe. That's James Cameron's genius. He didn't just make a great sequel, he made one of the greatest science fiction films of all time. Whether it's the high-stakes intensity, the expansion of the Xenomorph lore, or Sigourney Weaver's unforgettable return as Ellen Ripley, Aliens isn't just good, it's legendary. Hey, I'm Adam, and welcome back to the channel. We're continuing our franchise review series, breaking down every film in the Predator and Alien universe. Now, I've already covered the Predator franchise and Alien, so if you've missed those, check the playlist.
You son of a bitch!
But today, it's all about Aliens. This movie is a shift. It changes the tone, it changes the scale, it even changes how Ripley is portrayed, and it somehow manages not only to follow up a classic, but stand beside it. I'll be digging into the characters, the military vibe, the special effects, and some behind-the-scenes trivia, and the deep emotional themes that make this movie so much more than just guns and monsters. And yeah, we'll talk about that power loader moment, so let's get to it. Sigourney Weaver doesn't just return in this movie, she ascends. Aliens takes Ripley from survivor to icon, and it starts with a deeply human twist. She's lost everything. 57 years adrift. Her daughter grew old and passed away without her. The company she worked for doesn't believe her story, and the people around her are more interested in profit than the truth. This is not a triumphant return. It's tragic, but that emotional weight makes her journey so powerful. She's vulnerable, she's haunted, and when she volunteers to go back to LV-426, it's not because she wants revenge. It's because she can't let what happened happen again. There's also the maternal thread that runs quietly through this whole film. Her bond with Newt becomes the emotional heart of the story. She doesn't just save Newt, she saves herself. That connection reawakens Ripley's purpose. In Sigourney Weaver, she gives it everything. There's a reason she got an Oscar nomination for a science fiction movie in 1986. That's almost unheard of even today. And let's talk Marines. You meet them in a group scene over breakfast, and by the time the dropship touches down, you know exactly who's who. Hudson is cocky, funny, always talking shit till that same shit hits the fan, and he breaks down. Hicks is quiet, competent, level-headed, he doesn't say much, but you trust him. Vasquez is raw power. She's tough, fierce, and never backs down. Apone is all authority and charisma. Every line is quotable.
Every meal's a banquet. Every paycheck a fortune. Every formation a parade. I love the Corps!
James Cameron let these characters shine through behavior. He doesn't waste time with exposition dumps. We learn who they are from how they move, how they talk, how they joke, and most importantly, how they react under pressure. It's a masterclass in ensemble writing. You care when they start dying, and that's key. And shout out to Bishop, played by Lance Henriksen, possibly one of the best good androids in sci-fi. His arc, especially in contrast to Ash from the first film, brings an extra layer of tension. You're never quite sure if you can trust him until he proves he's more human than most of the actual humans. Cameron knows how to escalate. The first 40 minutes, all about dread. You don't see an alien until nearly halfway through. And when you do, it's pure chaos. The abandoned colony is silent. The scene where they find Newt hiding in the walls is downright eerie. And that initial hive ambush, still one of the most intense action horror scenes ever shot. It's how the suspense builds that makes the payoff so satisfying. Cameron uses tech, motion trackers, sentry guns, countdown timers to create a kind of mechanical anxiety. You hear that iconic beeping and your heart rate goes up with it. In the sound design, top notch. The muffled gunfire, the echo of footsteps in the dark corridors, the hiss of the aliens moving through the pipes. This isn't just action, it's survival horror. The colony on LV-426 feels real. The vents, the power rooms, the labs, all feel lived in. You can tell Cameron worked with a tight budget, but the illusion never breaks. The Xenomorphs are faster, more numerous, and more aggressive than an alien. That hive sequence, full of practical suits, animatronics, and careful lighting to sell the illusion. No CGI, just pure craftsmanship. And then there's the Alien Queen, a triumph of creature design. Standing over 15 feet tall, operated by hydraulics, puppeteers, and nightmare fuel. Her entrance is earned. She doesn't appear until late in the film, but when she does, it's game over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
The egg chamber reveal, the slow head tilt, the battle in the cargo bay. It all leads to one of the greatest third act showdowns in cinema history. This movie looks better than most modern CGI fests, and it was made nearly 40 years ago. Let's unpack the big stuff. Motherhood runs through this film. Ripley and Newt, the queen and her eggs, both are maternal figures protecting their children, one with compassion, the other with instinct. But the parallel makes their final confrontation that much more poetic. It's not just monster versus hero, it's mother versus mother. Survival is the obvious theme, but it's all about surviving with your soul still intact. Ripley refuses to become hardened or detached. She never loses empathy, and that's her strength. And then there's Burke, Paul Reiser's sleazeball company man. He doesn't twirl a mustache or wear a black hat, but he's way more dangerous than the aliens, because he looks normal, because he smiles when he lies, because he treats human life as just an obstacle to profit.
It's a multi-million-dollar installation, okay? He can't make that kind of decision. He's just a grunt. No offense.
None taken.
The real villain in this movie isn't just the aliens. It's the system that wants to bring them home in the name of a quarterly report. Weyland-Yutani doesn't just represent capitalism gone wrong. They represent a world where morality takes a backseat to margins, and that just feels as relevant now as it did in 1986. Alright, let's talk the climax.
Get away from her, you bitch!
If there was a Hall of Fame for perfectly earned movie lines, this would be front and center. Ripley choosing to go back into the hive, walking through acid and fire to get Newt, squaring up against a 15-foot monster in an exosuit she barely knows how to drive, and still dominating. That's hero stuff. That's legacy defining. It's one of the most cathartic, thrilling, fist-pumping final battles ever filmed. And it's not just cool, it's emotionally earned. That's what separates Aliens from lesser sequels. The big moments aren't hollow. They're rooted in character and theme. Ripley doesn't fight the Queen because she has to. She fights because she chooses to protect, even when she's terrified, even when the odds are hopeless. That's what makes her a legend, and that's what makes her our hero. So yeah, Aliens isn't just a great sequel. It's a blueprint for how to do sequels right. You respect the original, you evolve the tone, you deepen the character arcs, and you make it personal. The film is thrilling, emotional, and endlessly rewatchable. For me, it's a solid 5 out of 5. It's one of the best sci-fi action films ever made, and still a pillar of this franchise. Next up, Alien 3, a film with a troubled production, a divisive reception, and some very bold storytelling decisions. But is it better than you remember? That's what we're going to explore next. If you like this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop your favorite Aliens moment or quote in the comments below. I want to know how this movie landed for you. Until next time, take care.